a fulfilled campaign promise. It is a strategic pillar of our Reset Ghana agenda, designed to empower Ghanaians with digital skills critical for 21st century life and work. This program is an investment in our youth, an investment in their future as coders, as analysts, as entrepreneurs, and as tech pioneers. Over the next 4 years, the 1 Million Coders program will train 1 million Ghanaians in essential digital skills, from coding and cybersecurity to data analytics and networking. These are not just technical abilities, they are economic passports, pathways to decent jobs, entrepreneurship, and long-term social economic inclusion. The aim of this is clear, is to make digital education not just a short-term initiative, but a permanent strategic part of our educational system. To the youth of Ghana, I say this program is for you. Take it and own it. Let this be your launchpad into innovation, entrepreneurship, and global relevance. Let this be the bridge between your dreams and the opportunities of the digital age. You're not just participants in this initiative, you are the architects of Ghana's digital future.
In the heart of West Africa lies the Republic of Ghana, a nation resilient in spirit, rich in culture, and steady in its pursuit of progress. Today we celebrate a momentous occasion in our nation's history as we welcome the newly elected President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. A true nation builder committed to forging a brighter future for all Ghanaians. John Mahama embodies the pillars of leadership that our nation craves: trustworthiness, reliability, modesty, and above all, truthfulness. From the moment he stepped into the political arena, John Mahama has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to the people of Ghana. His approachable demeanor, paired with his genuine concern for the needs of the Ghanaian, has earned him their trust. A trust that is pivotal for any leader aiming to guide a nation through challenging times.
What I really like about JDM is his humility. The man is simply so down to earth, it's unbelievable. He's so humble, it's unbelievable. I really like that about him.
Mama osronyame, odonyame, osronyame, openi pasem, okita kumapa. Mihuna se mehu mini abema. Oyobi nso a onyiyi nipam. We are Kolao, we are Penny, we are Pepenu, we are Trivio, we are Bibia, try to be out Fibia, Doma Amapawase. On Casse, we in a tree, we in your way, your mamma and Senipum, or Obia.
President Mahama is practical. He communicates his issues very, very well, and he understands the Ghanaian politics very well. He understands the Ghanaian people very well, and that is what I like about him.
The brand John Dramani Mahama is not just a name. It represents resilience, strength, progress, and empathy.
I believe John Dramani Mahama is loved by many. His personality is so unmatched, and I've heard so much about how he has helped people in their difficult times, even when he wasn't yet a president. His love for God is so admirable, and his love for kids and the youth is so much amazing. And I'm not so surprised my kids get so much excited anytime he shows up on the screen.
I admire his tolerance. In 2016, a lot of people attacked his person. No one got arrested, no one disappeared. He just allowed time to judge, and here we are. That's a good leader.
Mahama's previous tenure as president distinguished him as the infrastructure king. His visionary leadership facilitated projects that have transformed our communities. Roads, schools, and healthcare facilities were built and improved. The energy sector received a big boost with excess megawatts of power, laying the groundwork for sustainable development. But the journey is far from over. Mahama has made a solemn promise to reset Ghana's economy, enabling a collective resurgence toward building the Ghana we truly want. A Ghana of opportunity, prosperity, and accountability. Through his promise of a 24-hour economy, he envisions a nation where jobs are abundant and where people thrive. Picture this: a Ghana where industry operates around the clock, entrepreneurship flourishes, and every citizen has the chance to contribute to and benefit from economic growth. Mahama's roadmap prioritizes creating jobs and ensuring that the nation's wealth is shared across all communities. A true embodiment of economic empowerment. Mahama recognizes that Ghana's strength lies in its people's strength. By fostering an environment of innovation and collaboration, he calls upon entrepreneurs and the youth to embrace their roles as the driving force behind our nation's future. Our strength as a people lies in our diversity. Mahama is dedicated to building a government that upholds accountability and transparency, ensuring every voice is heard and every concern addressed. He invites all Ghanaians on this transformative journey, confident that together we can build a Ghana that not only meets the needs of today, but inspires future generations. As we honor John Dramani Mahama and his new dawn of leadership, we look ahead with hearts full of hope, aligning with his vision for us all. Together, let us embrace this new chapter of leadership, transformation, and growth, forging the path toward a prosperous Ghana for all. Congratulations to the fourth and now the sixth President of the Fourth Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. The journey begins now.
My fellow citizens, good evening. Today, May 7th, 2025, marks 120 days since I had the profound honor of being sworn in as the President of the Republic of Ghana for a new 4-year term. It is a day that I specifically noted on our calendar to come before you, the people of Ghana, to account for the critical first steps we promised to take in our initial months in office. Our campaign was anchored on the vision of building the Ghana we want together. And our manifesto, Resetting Ghana, laid out a bold yet pragmatic plan for national recovery and transformation. Central to this plan was a social contract for the first 120 days, a set of specific actionable promises designated to enable us to hit the ground running and signal our unwavering commitment to change. I stand before you tonight to update you on how we have delivered on these promises. To the people of Ghana and the world observing our progress, let me state clearly, we made promises and we have kept them. Our first 120 days have been defined by decisive action, a commitment to transparency, and a relentless focus on laying the foundation for building the Ghana we want, a just, prosperous, and united Ghana. Let me now walk you through the progress we have made on the specific commitments outlined in our 120-day social contract. We promise to form a lean and efficient government. I promise to nominate the complete list of cabinet ministers for parliamentary approval within the first 14 days and to constitute the leanest and most efficient government under the Fourth Republic within the first 90 days. As promised, I announced the complete list of my cabinet ministers for parliamentary approval within the first 14 days of being sworn in. They were all successfully vetted and approved, and they have hit the ground running. Indeed, I have so far appointed only 56 ministers and deputies so far, the smallest number of ministers and deputies appointed by any president in the Fourth Republic. We've also nominated our metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives, and they are going through the various phases of confirmation to complete the formation of our governance team at the local level. Establishing a robust code of conduct. I have committed to establishing a robust code of conduct and standards for all government officials to instill integrity and accountability from day one. Building on my previous efforts, we have reworked and finalized a significantly improved version of the Code of Conduct for government appointees. The comprehensive document launched last Monday addresses new areas including a prohibition on purchasing state property directly or indirectly, regulations regarding hampers, and clear monetary limits for official gifts. I've left my appointees in no doubt that I'll bring down the hammer swiftly and strongly if they breach any of these provisions. We promise to hold a national economic dialogue within the first 90 days to understand the state of our economy and build consensus on the way forward. On March 3rd and 4th, 2025, the Government of Ghana convened the National Economic Dialogue at the Accra International Conference Center, bringing together partners including the private sector, civil society organizations, traditional authorities, and academia. The participants presented a comprehensive report with clear recommendations to restore macroeconomic stability and regain confidence in our economy. These included enhancing fiscal and monetary coordination, reviewing the foreign exchange regime, implementing major tax reforms, overhauling the public financial management system, reforming state-owned enterprises, strengthening expenditure controls, establishing a credible medium-term expenditure framework, promoting strict fiscal discipline on the part of government, and aggressively pursuing inclusive growth. The implementation of these recommendations has begun to yield results. The currency is becoming fairly stable, inflation is inching downwards, and we have reduced the excessive borrowing that had become the trademark of past governments. The report also provided valuable advice on promoting industrialized agriculture and aligning skills development with national priorities. We've taken this advice seriously, and implementation is underway, guiding our economic policy decisions. Following the recommendations of the National Economic Dialogue, we've amended the Public Financial Management Act 2016, Act 921, to introduce a debt rule that aims to reduce the ratio of debt to GDP to 45% by the year 2034. We've also established an operational rule to post an annual primary surplus of at least 1.5% of GDP on a commitment basis. The amendment also allows for the establishment of an independent fiscal council to monitor the government's adherence to the fiscal rules. This reform was executed in April 2025 before the September 2025 deadline under the IMF-supported program. What is also new about this law is the sanctions associated with breaches of the fiscal rules, which extend beyond just the Minister for Finance to include all ministers of state and heads of covered entities whose actions or inactions contribute to the fiscal slippages. Government has commissioned the Auditor General and 2 international audit firms to audit payables and commitments to validate their legitimacy and values and provide recommendation for corrective measures. An amendment of the Public Procurement Act has also been passed, making the issuance of a commitment certificate by the Minister for Finance a prerequisite for all procurements funded by the central government. Scrapping draconian taxes to alleviate hardship and ease the high cost of doing business. I promise to scrap the e-levy, the COVID levy, the 10% levy on bet winnings, and the emissions levy within my first 90 days in office. These tax expenditure measures were central to our 2025 budget statement. On April 2nd, 2025, I signed several bills into law, including the Electronic Transfer Levy e-levy repeal bill 2025, the emissions levy repeal bill, and the betting tax. We have delivered on 3 of these 4 specific tax repeals as promised. The COVID levy has intricate linkages to the existing IMF program. As a value-added tax, we have agreed with our multilateral partners to include it in our overall VAT rationalization exercise that is scheduled for September this year. We've significantly exceeded our 120-day promises regarding overall tax reform by enacting other critical bills such as the Value-Added Tax Amendment Bill, the Income Tax Amendment Bill, the removal of VAT on motor vehicles, the Public Financial Management Bill, the Growth and Sustainability Levy Act, the Earmarked Funds Capping and Realignment Bill, the Gold Board Bill, the Energy Sector Levy Bill, and the Petroleum Revenue Amendment Bill. This swift legislative action underscores our commitment to providing relief and creating a more favorable economic environment. Reviewing taxes on industrial and agricultural imports. We committed to reviewing taxes and levies on vehicles and equipment imported for industrial and agricultural purposes within our first 90 days. My government has initiated the crucial review process. The results of this comprehensive review will guide policy decisions and be incorporated into the 2025 mid-year budget review and subsequently the 2026 budget, ensuring that we support these vital sectors effectively. Commencing the 24-hour economy policy. One of our signature policies for job creation and economic transformation is the 24-hour economy policy. We promise to commence drafting the needed legal amendments and prepare for its implementation within the first 120 days. The program is designed to drive structural transformation across our economy, built on pillars aimed at revamping key sectors such as agriculture, manufacturing, and tourism. The program rollout has commenced in earnest. The 24-hour Secretariat is collaborating with the Development Bank of Ghana and the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund to operationalize financing pillars for this program. Cabinet has approved amendments to the Ghana Investment Promotion Center Act and the Labour Act to include specific clauses regarding 24-hour operations. These amendments aim to enhance social protection, create an enabling environment for the 24-hour economy policy, and promote conducive business and labor relations. Already several businesses are lining up to sign on to this policy. Some tangible actions have also been taken. The Ghana Investment Promotion Center has launched 24-hour premium services to eliminate processing delays for investors. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has launched a 24-hour passport service with the passport application headquarters operating 24/7. The DVLA used a 24-hour service to clear a long-standing 18 months backlog of licenses and will soon commission a new 24-hour service office at Adenta in Accra. The Youth Employment Agency is set to launch the Graduates in Corporate Support GRICS program, which will attach graduates to firms operating 24 hours a day. This program is targeting 20,000 graduates. The YEA is also partnering with security agencies, the fire, police, immigration services, to provide security for 24-hour firms, and is working towards training and deploying 23,000 recruits for this purpose. Recognizing the need for robust security, the police service is establishing a 24-hour police unit to improve 9 patrols and utilize technology supported by nationwide sensitization. The Minister of Energy and Green Transition is engaging the PURC to set up smart metering with a time of use tariff, charging a lesser tariff during the off-peak hours, a direct incentive for enterprises on the 24-hour economy policy. The Minister of Finance and Presidential Advisor on the 24-hour economy policy is finalizing a list of incentives for businesses to sign up for the initiative. The Ghana Publishing Company Limited has also begun 24-hour printing operations. In fulfillment of the 120-day commitment, we are pursuing new avenues of job creation, expanding employment opportunities, particularly for young graduates, and empowering the private sector as a key driver of sustainable job creation. We promise to establish an accelerated Export Development Council to promote exports as a key strategy for economic transformation. I'm glad to report that on Monday, I inaugurated a 19-member Accelerated Export Development Advisory Committee, which I chair myself. This committee will monitor export activities and performance across all ministries, departments, and agencies, including the Ghana Export Promotion Authority. We will not accept any business-as-usual attitude. The committee's functions include reviewing performance reports, monitoring targets, refining trade policy, deliberating on international trade issues, and providing policy guidance for exports. Ghana's export sector faces challenges, including cumbersome documentation processes, requirements from under-resourced regulatory bodies, and inefficiencies at our ports. According to the International Trade Center, these inefficiencies cost Ghana $4.3 billion yearly in losses, export losses. Sectors such as fisheries face contamination issues, and vital segments including women and SMEs remain underrepresented in our export sector. Establishing the Accelerated Export Development Authority Committee is crucial as a central platform for coordinating reforms, driving execution, and unlocking Ghana's full export potential. Under this Accelerated Exports Advisory Committee, our bold strategy to grow non-traditional export earnings by several multiples over the current $3.5 billion exported annually by at least 2028. The Africa Continental Free Trade Area offers an unprecedented opportunity, and we're positioning Ghana as a regional manufacturing and export hub. This year, we aim to triple the number of companies certified under the African Continental Free Trade Area Rules of Origin. We intend to scale up our export readiness, training for youth and women, and expand into new markets while consolidating our existing partnerships. Ghana will become a hub for products, digital services, knowledge exports, and our creative industries. Convening a national consultative conference on education. I promise to convene a national consultative conference on education to build consensus on the necessary improvements to our education sector. I'm glad to report that this promise has been fulfilled. Over 2,000 proposals were received, including a survey on free senior high school with 20,000 respondents. The report on the consultations will be ready by the end of May 2025 and will be made public. The extensive consultation was crucial to building a genuine national consensus for sustainable reform in our education sector. The no academic fee policy for all first-year students in public tertiary institutions was a key promise to ease burden on families and expand access to higher education. My government has taken concrete steps to implement this. 452,940,012 Ghana cedis has been allocated for the payment of academic facility user fees for 156,294 first-year students in public tertiary institutions for the 2025 academic year. Get Fund has also been instructed to pay the fees directly to the tertiary institutions, ensuring timely disbursement. The no-fee stress application portal has been developed and is now live for first-year students to register and authenticate their eligibility for this government funding. Introducing social interventions, free tertiary for persons with disability, and Mahama'S program. We're committed to introducing vital social interventions like the free tertiary education for persons with disability and the Ghana Medical Trust, fund otherwise called Mahama'S. For free tertiary education for persons with disabilities, budget allocation for beneficiary students has been captured in the 2025 budget statement. The Minister for Education has made relevant data available for Get Fund so that it can prepare for the payments for this 2025-2026 academic year. The Ghana Medical Trust Fund is a bold national policy that provides direct financial support to Ghanaians who are suffering from chronic diseases that are not fully covered by our national health insurance scheme. It serves as a lifeline for chronic disease care. On April 29, 2025, I officially launched the fund at the University of Ghana Medical Center, where I pledged 6 months of my salary as my contribution to start. Vice President Nana Jane also pledged 4 months of her salary to the Mahama'S Fund, and I have since directed that every government appointee of mine should contribute at least the equivalent of 1 month's salary to the fund. This includes CEOs and all other appointees. I encourage every Ghanaian to contribute as you are willing and able. The short code for the contributions across all mobile networks is *225#. *225#. Disbursement to support needy patients will begin once the governing board is put in place. The draft Ghana Medical Trust Fund bill is ready and will be presented to Cabinet at its next sitting for approval and forwarded to Parliament when it resumes from recess. We are united in this mission to touch lives and bring health, healing, and hope and joy to our people. To improve menstrual hygiene management and remove barriers to education, I promise to reintroduce the distribution of free sanitary pads to female students in primary and secondary schools. The 2025 budget statement allocated 292,400,000 Ghana cedis for this commitment, and I launched this initiative on the 24th of April 2025. Procurement is ongoing for over 6 million sanitary pads, with each student receiving 3 packets per term at the basic level and 4 packets per semester at the secondary level. Distribution will be done through the Ghana Education Service structure to all 261 districts, ensuring that no beneficiary is left out. The distribution will be accompanied by health education. A cornerstone of our commitment to good governance and accountability is tackling corruption and eliminating waste. I promise to initiate inquiries and forensic audits into several critical matters of public interest. This war against corruption continues unabated. The Minister for Health is reviewing the Auditor General's report on the COVID-19 expenditures. After the review, the appropriate actions will be taken. The Sputnik V scandal is under investigation. The Minister for Finance has launched an inquiry into the collapse of indigenous banks and financial institutions. And make no mistakes, facts will be unearthed, culprits will be punished, and lessons will be learned. The Minister for Energy and Green Transition has commenced investigations into the PDS scandal. Deloitte & Touche is conducting an independent audit of the National Cathedral project. I expect their report by the end of this month. A number of officials have been invited and questioned concerning the 13th African Games. On April 30th, 2025, the Attorney General filed 11 charges against a former National Signals Bureau Director General and others for various offenses. Charges will also be filed in the Accra SkyTrain and the National Service Ghost Name scandal. The Office of the Presidential Advisor on Corruption will continue to receive complaints and reports regarding graft for onward transmission to the Attorney General, building on the success of the oral mechanism, which received over 2,000 complaints in just a few weeks. As promised, my commitment to fighting corruption is not limited to recovering loot from past appointees. We will also ensure that our own appointees serve Ghanaians responsibly and are held to the highest standards of accountability. To reinforce public trust and ensure equitable access to state resources, I pledge to implement a government policy prohibiting political appointees from purchasing state assets. Reports of former officials acquiring public properties after regime changes have eroded public trust, particularly the alarming surge under the previous administration. In response, our policy prohibits all political appointees, their assigns, and closely associated persons from purchasing state assets. Section 5B of the Code of Conduct provides a clear sanction, immediate termination of appointment if an appointee is found to be in the process or has purchased any state asset directly or indirectly. Allocating seed money for the Women's Development Bank. We promise to allocate seed money to establish the Women's Development Bank to empower women entrepreneurs and promote economic inclusion. Accordingly, 51,300,000 Ghana cedis was allocated in the 2025 budget for this purpose. We're finalizing the working structures of the Women's Development Bank, and details will be made public soon. Priority job creation programs. Job creation is a top priority for my administration. We promise to launch the Ejumara National Apprenticeship and 1 million coders program in the first budget. These programs are designed to stimulate youth employment, entrepreneurship, and innovation. The Ejumara program has been launched to train and support 10,000 youth-owned businesses annually, and budgetary allocation has been made for that. 2,000 viable businesses will receive funding based on scalability and the potential to create jobs. This program targets Ghanaian-owned youth-led businesses across all educational backgrounds, with specific directives to allow access for women and persons with disability, unemployed, and out-of-school youth, and our vulnerable populations. Under the National Apprenticeship Program, the goal is to provide vocational training for more than 500,000 young Ghanaians over the next 5 years, beginning with an initial 10,000 apprentices. The beneficiaries will receive training in high-demand sectors. They will receive stipends and starter toolkits and certification at the end of their training. A dual apprenticeship model blending classroom instructions with hands-on training will be used. I've directed the prioritization of women. At least 45% of apprentices must be women, and persons with disability, at least 5% of trainees must be persons with disability and marginalized groups. The 1 million coders program is a cardinal initiative for a digitally inclusive, data-driven economy. 1 million young Ghanaians will be trained in digital skills for the business process outsourcing and KPO sectors. The pilot training began in the Greater Accra, Ashanti, Bono, and Upper East regions. The technology sector is a key pillar of Ghana's economic reset, and we're taking bold steps to equip our youth to be the future of work. Commence review of Customs Amendment Act 2020. To rescue the local automotive repair industry, we promise to begin the review of the Customs Amendment Act 2020 to remove the law banning the importation of salvage vehicles. The Minister for Trade and Agribusiness has extensively engaged relevant stakeholders, including new and second-hand car dealers and assemblers. Her report has been forwarded to the Ministry of Finance, where a draft bill is being prepared for Parliament. To ensure fairness and transparency and eliminate political patronage and corruption in awarding government scholarships, we promise to lay before Parliament a new bill to streamline administration and prohibit political appointees from accessing government scholarships. Cabinet has given policy approval for the new Scholarships Authority Bill to be laid before Parliament to fulfill this promise. I hope Parliament will consider and pass this bill expeditiously when it resumes sitting. This bill will establish the Ghana Scholarships Authority, a fair and transparent system focused on needy and deserving students and national development priority areas. Protecting our environment, especially from the threat of illegal mining, has been a strong commitment. We promise to ban illegal and new mining activities in forest reserves and roll out our Tree for Life and Blue Water initiatives to heal and sustainably harness our environment. In the first 120 days, we've taken decisive action through a 5-pronged strategy to overhaul and sanitize the mining sector. This includes regulatory reforms and strengthening the law enforcement, including joint task forces, arrests and seizures of mining equipment, stakeholder collaboration, reclamation of degraded lands. 7 out of 9 forest reserves have been reclaimed. Illegal miners have been flushed out of these forest reserves. Concerning the ban on mining in forest reserves, on March 20th, 2025, a legislative instrument, LI 2462, was presented to Parliament to amend the Environmental Protection Mining in Forest Reserves Regulation. This amendment removes the President's power to grant approval for mining in forest reserves. I plan also to amend the Minerals and Mining Act 2003, Act 703, to completely prohibit mining in forest reserves. This would effectively, meticulously, legally, and entirely ban mining in our forest reserves. The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources has launched the Blue Water Initiative to restore our water bodies in collaboration with the Ministry of Environment. This initiative aims to train and deploy Blue Water Guards to monitor and protect critical water bodies and prevent further pollution. At the same time, experts are working to clean up our polluted rivers. The Tree for Life Reforestation Initiative was also launched on March 21st, 2025, to restore degraded lands and combat climate change. This project aims to plant over 20 million seedlings annually nationwide, including through the One Child Per Tree policy to inculcate environmental consciousness in our youths. By combining enforcement, policy reform, technology, and community engagement, we're on track to reclaim our environment and ensure responsible mining for future generations, achieving the expected outcomes of reduced illegal mining, cleaner water bodies, restored forests, and stronger governance. To transform Ghana into the preferred tourism destination and showcase our rich heritage, we promise to launch the Black Star Experience Initiative as our flagship culture, arts, and tourism brand. I launched this initiative on May 1st, 2025. The Black Star Experience is not a one-day event, but a structured year-round program designed to showcase Ghana's excellence through monthly themes and events spanning heritage, music, fashion, gastronomy, innovation, and more. The approach is to create a seamless and immersive for local and international tourism engagement, boosting our economy and celebrating the vibrant tapestry of Ghanaian culture. We promise to commence investigative processes into security agencies to purge state security agencies of militia and vigilante elements and enhance professionalism. A board of inquiry has been established by the Ghana Armed Forces to investigate recent recruitment processes, aiming to uncover discrepancies and implement corrective measures. Robust background checks are ongoing for all recruits and serving personnel, and mandatory ideological reorientation sessions are planned to reinforce military neutrality, national unity, and loyalty to the state and the Constitution. A biometric database is being introduced to cross-check personnel against national criminal and security intelligence records, automatically disqualifying applicants linked to political vigilante networks. This aims to decentralize and depoliticize recruitments. Similar processes are underway across other security agencies, including the police, fire, service, and prison services. Reopening investigations into major unresolved criminal cases, delivering justice is crucial for national healing and trust in our institutions. We promise to open investigations into major unresolved criminal cases, including the 2020 elections killings, Ayawaso West Wogombai election violence, and the murder of Ahmed Swale and Silas Wolochami. The new Inspector General of Police has established a special task force. Investigations have been reopened and progress is being made. In the tragic murder of Ahmed Hussein Swale 6 years later, the police service have made an arrest and the suspect was arraigned before court and remanded. Investigations are also ongoing into the election 2020 Teshiman South incident where 2 lives were lost. In Ododo, where 2 persons died, 3 individuals have been charged with conspiracy and murder and committed for trial at the High Court. In Ablikuma Central, where a military officer is alleged to have caused a death, the scene has been revisited and a request was made to the Chief of Army Staff for the release of the personnel involved to assist in investigations. For the tragic death of Silas Wolochami in Banda, the Attorney General's office under the previous administration had advised against prosecution due to lack of evidence. But I'm pleased to report that we have reopened the case based on actionable intelligence. In Doma West, where Kofi Robert died, 1 person has been charged and is standing trial, while the other suspect is at large and is being pursued. In Savlugu, where Zakaria Samira, a 16-year-old, died from a gunshot, efforts are still being made to find the assailant despite a lack of cooperation from witnesses. And concerning the January 31st, 2019, Ayawaso West Wogombai election violence, where 18 persons suffered injury from individuals later identified as national security operatives, we will not let that matter die without justice being served to the victims. ASP Azugu, who was deeply involved in the violence and atrocities on the day, is currently cooperating with the National Investigations Bureau to identify, arrest, and prosecute all those who were involved in the violence. With respect to cases from the 2024 election violence that resulted in tragic deaths in constituencies like Tolong, Damango, Autusenya East, Nkranza South, Ofinsu North, and Ahafua North Southwest, the cases are being investigated by the Special Task Force. These are senseless deaths that should never again happen in our nation. Elections are to choose leaders, not to murder our citizens. We are committed to ensuring accountability for political violence so that it will not happen again. The Attorney General is working on a report for Cabinet to recommend appropriate compensation for victims and families involved in these unlawful incidents. Ladies and gentlemen, we promise to initiate a probe into the VRA Akosombo Bond Dams village to address the man-made disaster caused by the VRA spillage and prevent future occurrences. We promise to initiate a probe and take steps to compensate the victims. So this administration set up a committee chaired by Engineer Kofi, a former VRA chief executive. The committee has recommended strategies to prevent future occurrences, including establishing what is called a controlled spill flood plan and implementing downstream engineering solutions for flood management. I've directed that the recommendations be implemented immediately. I further indicated that if they are not properly implemented and another destructive VRA flooding occurs like in 2023, the VRA CEO and deputies must resign or be sacked. Initiate immediate steps to compensate flood victims. The 2025 budget has made provisions for the compensation payments, and a team has been put together to coordinate the compensation exercise. I call on the chiefs and people of the affected areas to facilitate the smooth and peaceful execution of this compensation exercise. We promise to shake up and realign state-owned enterprises to enhance their profitability and their value. On March 13, 2025, I hosted a high-level meeting of CEOs under the State Interest and Governance Authority, SIGA, to underscore the critical importance of reforms. We are implementing an enhanced performance management system with clear targets, monitoring financial and operational performance, and promoting good governance in these institutions. A deep dive study is underway to uncover the root causes of challenges and provide insights for targeted strategies to foster innovation and adaptability. My vision is clear: to transform the SOEs into robust pillars of economic growth. This may involve shutting down some of them or merging some of them together. SIGA is facilitating discussions to revive the produce buying company, deliberating with the Ghana Stock Exchange about the potential listing of at least 10 of the SOEs on the stock exchange, and encouraging them to prioritize dividend payments as their primary objective this year. My fellow citizens, this has been a comprehensive account of our actions in the first 120 days of my administration. We laid out a social contract with you, the people of Ghana, with specific promises for this critical initial period. Tonight, I'm pleased to report to you that we have fulfilled these promises. From forming a lean government and establishing a robust code of conduct, to taking decisive action to scrap burdensome taxes, initiating inquiries into past wrongdoings, launching major job creation programs, tackling illegal mining, reviving our environment, promoting our tourism and export sector, streamlining scholarships, supporting vulnerable populations, and holding our security agencies accountable. The foundation for resetting Ghana and building the Ghana we want together is being laid with speed and determination. These actions are not merely check boxes on a list. They signify a fundamental shift in how government operates, with transparency, accountability, efficiency, and a profound sense of urgency for the well-being of every Ghanaian. Fellow citizens, I take my promises seriously, and my word is my bond. Although we've established a solid foundation in this first 120 days, considerable work remains on the journey to realize the Ghana we all want together. This journey requires the collective effort of all of us, and I'm profoundly grateful for the mandate you have given me and my government to lead this nation. Your trust is our most valued asset, and we'll continue to work tirelessly to deserve that trust. And so I call upon every Ghanaian in every city, town, and village, in every sector of our economy, across every political divide, to join hands with us. Let us continue to work hard together, united by one purpose and a shared vision, to overcome the challenges and build a brighter, more prosperous future for our beloved nation. I thank you for receiving me in your homes. I thank you for your attention this evening. May God bless you all, and may God bless our homeland, Ghana.
Right, and so that was it from the presidency. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has spoken to the nation. 120 days in office, and we can see the tangibility